Konnichiwa! In this video, we're going to be looking at some of the amazing retro gaming pickups that I got this month, including 2 unbelievable finds. Game on! So unsurprisingly, each month I go out and buy retro video games. Some I get from stores, some I get from eBay, some I get from private sellers. This month I'm going to be sharing with you some of the games that I've picked up so far in October. Let's start with Lone Soldier on the PlayStation 1. So I picked this up after I realized I didn't have this in my collection. I wanted to make a video about best, worst PlayStation 1 games. I actually had this originally when the PlayStation first came out, and I had kind of fond memories of it. The graphics looked great, but when you got down to the gameplay, it was a bit naff. So I got this off of eBay for about £10, stuck it into my collection, and then realized I already had a copy. Let's have a look what else we've got in here. So that's a good one. Eternal Champions. So I had Eternal Champions when it first came out and then foolishly sold it. I also had it on the Mega CD and sold that one as well, so I've got to go out and buy that. But I was making a new video for the channel about Halloween games to play on the Mega Drive, and so went out and looked for one. And I got this for £9 from a local retro gaming store. So one of my biggest regrets in my retro gaming collection is the fact that I sold off the majority of my NES and Super NES collection. And in fact, most of my N64 games as well. And I did that so I could buy the PlayStation 2. I was at university at the time, I was pretty skint, and I desperately needed the PlayStation 2. So I sold off something like 200 games for about, I don't know, £250. It wasn't even enough to buy a PlayStation 2. And nowadays, it's probably about £10,000 worth of games that I sold off. But I've started to collect them again, and as always, I only go for boxed games. So I have this month picked up 3 NES games. So we've got Track and Field 2. This is an awesome game. I love playing this. I don't actually have the original one, so I've got to pick that up as well. And we got Low G-Man. So I'd never played Low G-Man before, but I came across this in the store, in the retro gaming store near me where I work in Brighton. So I'm looking forward to playing this. Also Kabuki Quantum Fighter. So this is a game I had. It wasn't brilliant, but it was okay. So I'm glad to have that back in my collection. Sticking with Nintendo, another game I managed to pick up was Killer Instinct. So this version of Killer Instinct is supposed to come with Killer Cut's music CD. It doesn't, unfortunately. However, what I do have with this game, and they didn't come with the game when I bought them from the shop, so it comes manualed, so I got the manual, which is awesome. The box is in okay condition, cart's in an okay condition, but the thing that I did have were these collector's cards for Killer Instinct. And I got a couple of friends that work at Rare, and they gave me a load of Rare stuff, a load of Rare games and paraphernalia. They gave me these cards with all the characters on, and on the back are all the moves of the characters, which is pretty cool. So when I decided to make a video about best games to play at Halloween on your Mega Drive or Genesis, I looked for another specific game that I used to have and I loved, which was Shakan the Forever Man. Again, I was looking around for this. They did have it on eBay, but it was kind of a bit overpriced. And when I went into the store to get Eternal Champions, this was sitting up on the top shelf for £10, so it was about $12, which was awesome. Check out my Halloween video where you can see more from Shakan the Forever Man. Next I have a game that I found on eBay for about £10, and that's Ys Ark of Napashism. Dism. Anyway, cool find. Really happy with this. My PSP collection is really starting to grow now, which is awesome. So I've got a ton of PSP games when I worked at Sony, but when I moved to Microsoft, that kind of dried up, not surprisingly. And so I've been slowly picking these up. It's amazing how PSP games are still relatively cheap to pick up. So yeah, really happy with that find. Next up, we got a big find, and a big find that I got for next to nothing. And the moral of this find is that learn to spell, kids, because the person who put this up on eBay and spelt it completely wrong managed to sell this to me for £5. This is worth £150, $170. And so yeah, I've got a copy of Golden Sun for the Game Boy Advance in fantastic condition. It has got everything. So we have the Nintendo manual bit there. We've got, I think this is the VIP poster for it. Oh no, actually, it's a map. So we've got a map with it. We got the manual, which is in pristine condition. And we got the game, which is still in its plastic wrapper. This is an unbelievable deal. So remember, if you're going to sell anything on eBay, especially retro video games that are worth a ton of money, then make sure you get the spelling right. Next up, we have the best deal I've ever made for a retro video game. So this next game I picked up for £25. Which is still kind of expensive, but not when you consider it's actually worth around £200 to £250. Terminator for the Mega CD. So the guy that was selling this game was just getting rid of a load of old stuff that he had up in his loft, and in his collection he had this, and it's near mint. In fact, apart from it not being sealed, it is mint condition. He'd never played the game, he opened it once and apparently got distracted by another game that he bought, and then just stuck it up in the loft. And here it is in my collection. Now I told the guy when I bought this for £25 that it's worth way more than £25, and is he sure that he wants to part with it for that much cash? And he said yes. So I have a mint or a near mint condition of the Terminator on Mega CD. This manual is pristine. It's amazing. And there's the registration card that you get with it. And probably the best thing about this game is when I went through the front, I was like, this disc is amazing. The disc is immaculate and the manual is immaculate. But then I opened up the back of the box, and inside the back of the box is the spine cover for the game as well, which is unbelievable. They never come with a spine cover. So there you have it. I've probably spent about £80 in all of this. So what's that, about $95, $100 I spent for all of these games. And I probably have here around £500 worth of games. It is an unbelievable pickup. Probably the best pickup I've ever had. If you want to see more of my retro gaming collection, then make sure you subscribe by clicking on my little pixel head below. And for all you Mega Drive and Genesis fans out there, I've made a video about the best games you should play this Halloween, and you can watch it right here.